Welcome back to KC Talks EV, and yes, we are finally here at Everything Electric North 2026. The weather has actually brightened up a little bit. It was chucking it down with rain about an hour ago. I've just done a little bit of filming with Green Strip Show, EV Musings and RS Think, so I thought I'd get out some footage myself, but let's go check out what's here. I did say Gary C from EV Musings is here.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Excellent, excellent. So what's on your agenda for today?
So first things first, I've got, not GLA, CLA, is it EQ now, or is it?
The Mercedes.
Whatever the Mercedes is.
Very, very nice vehicle. Not sure about the actual shooting brake itself. I would have probably gone for the normal one.
Really?
Yeah, I don't need that much room in the back.
I do like the look of Estates personally, so.
I prefer those to SUVs. I'm not a big fan of SUVs.
Okay.
So, I could go with that. And obviously I went in the 6N, which every time I drive one of the N versions and I hit that red button and press my foot down, I giggle like a 10-year-old girl every single time. It's kind of intoxicating.
What's on your agenda for this for today?
I only had the one test. I did 5 yesterday and I did the Insta this morning, and I'm with a couple of people who are doing other tests, and I'm going to sit in with them. Probably the Ionic 9, one of the Geelys, I think, and a BYD.
Awesome, good stuff, right. So you can definitely check out Gary. He's got an absolutely wonderful podcast. I pretty much listen to it every week, although I'm going to be honest, I may have missed last week's. I think it was on, is it Easy EV Charging?
Last week was Cheap EV Charging.
Cheap EV Charging, yep.
Yes, this week we're doing Price of Electricity, I think, this week.
Make sure you go check them out, and I'll definitely leave a link below if you want to go check them out. Okay, so my first walkthrough of Everything Electric North. I'm going to be perfectly honest, I've just been speaking to a lot of people about EVs and everything. Just had a coffee actually in one of our Yorkshire EV Club members' caravans, kept at a nice 20 degrees thanks to vehicle to load. So the one key difference compared to last year is a lot of the stands were actually indoors. I'll show you that in a moment. The fact is this year it's mostly outdoor, and luckily the weather has held for the last couple hours. It is a bit chilly, I'm going to be honest, I've got my jumper back on. But yeah, let's have a look. Here we've got Cleevely EV, definitely no stranger to electric vehicles. They do a lot of the mobile servicing, but they've also got, there's actually a video from James and Kate's channel talking about their MG5. I think it's done 180,000 miles, which is absolutely amazing when you think about it. Definitely no stranger to both the channel, but also the EV community. I've got here James Coates from Cleevely EV. How's Cleevely been doing over the last few years?
From the mobile perspective, going really well. The garage is expanding and the EV sales is expanding. So basically every angle is going well. We have our workshop, which does a mix of internal combustion engine cars and electric vehicles. The electric vehicle side is growing. There was once a time when it was just 1%. I think it's now up to about 40%, maybe 50%, so that's going well. We have EV sales, which is second-hand EVs. I sort of run the mobile side of the business, so looking after all the mobile guys that are dotted around the country. Got a guy up near Aberdeen, we've got a guy down near Edinburgh, Wales, Kent, Norfolk, and all the places in between. So we've pretty much got the UK covered now. And we're fixing and servicing electric vehicles as the main part of our business. That is the question you asked me, wasn't it? I completely forgot to answer it. I think we at one point had a lead time of 6 months in the very early days. In some places, we've got that lead time down to about 3 weeks. You come to us saying, I need my car looking at, I need it servicing, I want it fixing. And we say, we'll see you in 5 months, 6 months is not acceptable. But 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I think is. I think most people are thinking about it with a month sort of in their head. In some circumstances, we can get to you a little bit quicker. If you're really desperate, we can sometimes juggle things around. But for the most part, 3-4 weeks.
Now, there is one question I would like to ask you.
Okay, I feel like this could be a tricky one.
If anyone hasn't already watched it, James did a brilliant video on how the MG5 is doing, a proper workhorse vehicle, really. I have also done a review on the channel as well, if you want to go have a look at that. But how are they doing?
They're doing exceptionally well. Largely, I can say that we built a business off the back of that vehicle. Well, one, for reliability, the initial purchase price, it's an estate vehicle, so we're able to carry more equipment and tools. Overwhelmingly, the not having any downtime has meant we can just use them and use them and use them, and they never don't work. We've had a few issues. Shock absorbers are quite common, broken springs, but nothing that's ever stopped a vehicle from working. Never have we got one day where a guy couldn't come to work because the car wouldn't work. That's never happened. and combined they've done 1.5 million miles between them. So yeah, so we're quite pleased. We've got 14 of them remaining at the moment. So this is the Vivaro. We've got a few variants. It's the same van with a different name. We've got 5 of these now. And the reason we've started putting these on is we need to carry more parts, we need more tooling. And that's really for the customer, that if we come to you and say your car needs this, it's really good if we've got the bit and we can fix it there and then, instead of saying we'll be back in a month. We're trying to make ourselves more efficient. We're trying to make the customer experience better. The MGs just can't carry as much equipment, so that's the only reason that they'll eventually be moved out of the business. Apart from that, they're perfect. I've got a lot of good stuff to say about the MGs. So the only reason we're with these now is for carrying weight and parts.
I think the other thing I should mention is they are completely independent of dealer networks. So the idea is, it was probably one of the first independent EV specialists, which is just a great thing to have, independent dealers.
Yeah.
Where can we find you?
You can find us at www.cleeveleymobile.co.uk, but generally just write Cleevely in a search engine and it'll bring us up. It's that easy.
Awesome, good stuff. And I definitely need to book in a service at some point. So
excellent. We can do that now.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing that right now. So thank you so much, James, talking about
No worries,
Cleevely.
good to see you. Thanks for having us. All right.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So we've got Electric Vehicles UK talking about, they've been doing a lot of work on misinformation and how to tackle that, which I think is a really, really important aspect. Although that being said, I think it is getting somewhat slightly better depending on where you look. One of the key aspects of Everything Electric North is the test drives. So there are plenty of manufacturers that have actually given the opportunity for the public to test drive. The fact that you can test drive multiple vehicles all at once is just a brilliant thing overall. So here, I'm guessing it's the MG test drives. Got here the IM5, the MG4 Urban, which would have probably been out my review after this video. And then obviously here they've got the IM6 as well. So unfortunately I haven't got anything to test drive today from MG, but you will be seeing these vehicles on the channel very, very soon. Okay, so the whole point of Everything Electric North is the test drive experience. And I'm actually here with a vehicle which I've been really meaning to test for quite a while, which is the Mercedes CLA EQ. This here is actually the 250 plus AMG line premium. So we've got the bigger battery model, good for 480 miles. So let's take it out for a bit of a spin. So this vehicle has a 85 kilowatt hour battery pack. And I think the amazing thing about this vehicle is its efficiency and range. So this vehicle actually has, in this trim level, around 480 miles WLTP. Now, just to kind of give you an idea on that, that is actually Mercedes' longest range electric vehicle so far. It actually beats out things like the Mercedes EQS, which was one of the longest range vehicles at all, about 464 miles, I believe. So this vehicle here actually is kind of a higher tier, higher trim level model. So this one starts at around £43,000. They do have now a sub £40,000 model. It actually starts at around £39,000 now, which I think is supposed to be competing with things like the BYD Seal, as well as the lower spec model, Tesla Model 3. I'm actually in the saloon version rather than the shooting brake / estate version. Honestly, I absolutely love estate cars. As you know, I would have probably gone with the shooting brake in my opinion, but let me know in the comments below what you think of it. I absolutely love this, the fact that the sat-nav directions are actually coming up on the main center screen as well. Really, really clear. And actually, while we're here, 48%, 167 miles, we're still good for, over 340 miles of range. And let's be honest, this is a test vehicle. So you know full well that this has been driven. Driven, yeah. So the fact that it's been driven and it's an absolutely awful day as well, fairly cold, rain, all of that, I wouldn't be surprised if this vehicle got beyond 400. I think especially with the white interior as well, it just opens it a bit more. I'm not so sure whether I'd go with the white. I feel as though with jeans that might be a bit of a mistake. I do love panoramic roofs on most cars. There's been some cars that I've been testing recently, it can be a little bit dark inside. This obviously really brightens up the rear. I love saloons, I love hatchbacks. I'm not super keen on SUVs, I'm gonna be honest. I just love the fact that Mercedes have come back in with so many different saloons and estate vehicle shooting brakes. I think they look better. Handling wise as well, obviously it's been a bit of a short drive, but you can tell that it's pretty planted on the road, and that's something that I prefer really. That's a quick first view of the Mercedes CLA EQ. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and hopefully you also see a few more test drives on the channel a bit later. Nissan have brought their stand here, so they've actually got here the new Nissan Micra. Now you might have actually seen that at one of the Yorkshire EV Club meets at Tesla Lincoln. So Paul Eden from the Nissan EV Owners Club actually brought this one here. If you're watching this, Paul, hi. They've also got here which I didn't realise, they haven't released this yet. This is the new Nissan Leaf. This is actually a left-hand drive model. But yeah, I didn't realise they actually had not released it yet. So we're looking at, I believe, a 75 kilowatt hour battery pack. It looks pretty efficient as well. I do find it a bit unfortunate that they didn't release a hatchback version of it, but well, sometimes I guess it is the sign of the times. Now this is something that I really, really would love to see. So this is actually, it used to be called the Papilio 3, but now this is called the Halo Fast Hub from 3TI. So this is solar on top. It allows the ability to charge up to 12 electric vehicles at 22 kilowatt from I think a single three-phase supply. It's got battery storage attached in this, which is a recycled shipping container. And there was also a bit of a chat about having vehicle to grid, or having the ability for fleets to actually power things like buildings and to have a full integrated experience on that. So I will definitely have a word with 3TI a bit later. So it's a little bit of deja vu really, because about 2 years ago I was actually here at Everything Electric North talking to 3TI about something called the Papilio 3. Now, I absolutely love the idea of destination charging. Tim Evans, who I actually interviewed, mentioned the idea of charge where you stop, not stop to charge. And well, I'm here with Lyndon here at 3TI to talk to you about something slightly different. So, where are we now?
Yeah, this is now called our Halo Fast Hub. You asked me earlier why the name changed. Papilio carried us so far. One of the reasons is obviously the name Papilio is a little bit confusing, especially with the 3 at the end, and where does it all come from? So the main reason really is the fact that we've been making some massive developments over the last couple of years. Out of that we've been a number of products, and this is the Halo Fast Hub. The Halo is all about our overarching technology, our smart technology, which is managing this unit and all the energy that goes in and out of it.
Now, the thing that I will say is I think it's a brilliant setup. I think you can tell that I am really kind of excited to be here, because the first thing first is it allows how many chargers?
12. This has got 12 charge points, 12 bays, up to 22 kilowatts of charging.
Wow, okay. And then as you look upwards,
it's a solar canopy, which acts on today, if we're protecting us from the rain, but on a sunny day, you're going to get, it's a 20 kilowatt peak array, and you get around about 18 megawatts for a whole year of solar energy, which you can either charge your vehicles with or pass back to a building. When cars aren't charging, you know, and it's still the sun is shining on the weekend, maybe if it's a fleet installation, then that energy can go back into the building and be reused elsewhere.
This is, I believe, a shipping container, isn't it?
Yes, it's based on an upcycled shipping container, so sort of sliced up components of it, fabricated together in the UK. It's a standard 40-foot length, so it can fit on the back of a high-ab, be transported to site and installed within 24 hours. In fact, from leaving the factory to driving to wherever it is in the lands and then landing it down in place can all be done within inside a day. So connected and commissioned.
What are kind of the upgrades for the Halo compared to the Papilio 3? What are we looking at?
Yeah, primarily it's been in the core of the product, in the software elements and how we manage the load and everything else. But in part of that, one of the new developments is we've got our own payment system, so we're not reliant on the back office platforms that are available to do that. Now we come along, people can select the bay that they want to charge from. Lots of mechanical changes to make it easier to service. We've got wider doors so you can forklift truck batteries if you want to upgrade with battery backup. We're making changes to the solar canopies and upgrading that. So there's plenty of upgrades and developments that have happened since our previous Papilio 3 product.
Now, for obvious reasons, I think for most people, you're probably not buying a Halo Hub really, but I'm guessing for businesses, how would we get, for example, a Halo Hub actually in a staff car park, for example?
So we're flexible in terms of the payments that you want to. You can buy a unit, you can rent a unit. We've got different agreements depending on how long you want to rent it for. So there's lots of different options. The other important thing to note is that the energy is the client's energy. So we take the client's energy, we use that to charge the vehicles, etc. It's all there, the revenues from there, so they can set the tariff, and then we pass that back, less a small admin fee. We pass that back to the client. You find us on 3ti.co.uk. A number of units already installed, so around the country. So if you want to go and visit a site, come give us a shout and we'll take you to the site and we'll talk more about it and the wonderful features it has.
Thank you very much, Lyndon, for talking over the newly updated Halo Hub from 3TI, and I'll leave a link in the description if you'd like to find out a little bit more. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you.
Always trying to do the flip. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah! We need to pick the thing to open. That's what we need.
Yes, you can get in the car. Do you want to get in the driver's seat this time? You are. This car is actually, so the MG4, the original one, the OG, is actually rear-wheel drive. This is actually front-wheel drive, so the driving experience is a bit different, but actually it's really, really good. But I was really impressed when I got in of the quality of everything.
This is the unfortunate part of an outdoor event, but it is currently raining and very, very windy right now. But thank you for watching the video on Everything Electric North 2026. Leave a comment below to let me know your thoughts on Everything Electric. They've actually got a couple more events, I think, later on this year, so I'll leave a link in the description if you'd like to get some tickets for it, especially for the test drive experience. I think it's a brilliant thing to be able to do that. But I think that is pretty much it. So thank you for watching and talk to you later.